shark numbers are absolutely exploding. Okay, we've got ourselves a big boy. Go.
That's always in the back of your mind. It's always in my mind when I'm out there anyway.
It's their home.
Is he scared when you get out there?
Nah.
And we just love playing in it. But the threat is real, as is the fight that's brewing on what to do about it.
We need to give them the respect that they deserve, or we're in big trouble.
You know, they're just getting closer and closer to the shore.
In November, 19-year-old bodyboarder Zach Young died after being attacked by a shark on the New South Wales mid-north coast. In the same week, Chris Boyd was surfing south of Perth when he was killed.
These animals are following the humpbacks, they're feeding on the humpbacks. So certainly this is probably one of the reasons we're seeing more larger sharks.
The debate over how to prevent attacks this summer is well and truly raging. Tomorrow, a nationwide protest will be held over a plan to cull sharks in Western Australia. Now, while that is one option, there's also brand new technology helping to warn beachgoers and protect surfers.
These are great white sharks being tagged for monitoring off Western Australia. The state is leading the way in a new era of tracking technology. If this huge shark comes within 700 metres of one of the monitoring stations off popular beaches, an alert is instantly sent to response agencies like lifeguards. But it doesn't stop there. It's also sent directly to the Surf Lifesaving WA Twitter feed.
We think that it's catching a large group of people to provide them with information, again, about making good decisions when they go to the beach.
Chris Peck from Surf Lifesaving WA says the government is looking to expand the program and put monitors off more beaches.
I think it's a system that could be adopted, worldwide.
So we'll all be checking our phones when we hit the beach.
Yeah, check your phone. Oh, look, there was a shark 15 minutes ago. Let's wait an hour and have something to eat.
While it may look cruel, the alternative is far worse for these predators. The WA government has announced a plan to set up baited drum lines close to shore and kill any shark over 3 metres in these so-called kill zones.
If a loved one was on life support system, you would do nothing to tamper with that. The great white shark maintains the balance in our oceans.
Jeff Hansen from Sea Shepherd is furious and will be taking part in the nationwide anti-culling protest tomorrow.
Sea Shepherd will be looking at every means possible within the law to stop this from going ahead.
While attacks are most common in Western Australia, there's a huge population of great white sharks off South Australia. This encounter while cage diving off Port Lincoln.
Would you agree with shark culling?
Yes and no. In some areas where they are, heaps of them, yeah.
This isn't the best practice and we shouldn't be going down this path.
Trevor Long is the Director of Marine Sciences at SeaWorld. He applauds new research, but says attacks aren't common enough to warrant a cull.
You've got far greater chance being hit by a car, falling off your push bike, falling out of bed than being taken by a shark. We've got to understand, we've got to try and keep that in perspective.
Aside from tagging and culling, WA company Shark Shield has just been given a government grant to test surfboard fins with an electronic shark deterrent. It sends out an electronic pulse that interferes with the shark's sensors. Another concept is using air bubble curtains off beaches. Research shows the bubbles can frighten sharks away. There's also beach mufflers. Sharks have heightened sensors and are attracted to noise and movement in the water, so blocking beach noise would effectively block the shark.
There's still a long way to go.
So you're pretty confident that they'll spot something before it gets to you?
You hope so, eh? But that's how you're meant to go down. That's how you're meant to go down.
It's a sight that will terrify even the bravest of ocean goers. The top of the food chain, just metres from boogie boarders.
Yeah, I've never seen them come that close to people.
Not one, but 2 sharks surrounding unsuspecting teenagers enjoying their school holidays.
3.2 metre whaler.
It's probably as big as they get.
So what happens next?
I flew over him and then saw these sharks sort of swimming across. I was thinking, what's going on here? And they're obviously, going over to have a little bit of a look, and got pretty close and realised that wasn't their food chain, and turned around and went back. But yeah, it's pretty incredible to see these boys just floating on their back.
That's right. Some would call it a near miss. And although shark attacks continue to make headlines around the country, debates over controversial shark culls divide us. These sharks simply don't want a bar of these humans.
I was in awe of these sharks. They were beautiful looking sharks, and there were so many of them, but they showed no interest.
The incredible footage was captured last week at Red Bluff, 140 kilometres north of Carnarvon on the West Australian coast, a popular camping spot renowned for its big waves and for being a marine wonderland. The man who took these incredible images from his drone is photographer Sean Scott, who travels the globe hoping to capture moments like this.
I constantly just kept flying the drone, bringing it back, changing SD cards, at the same time watching all these surfers surfing further out the point and people swimming up to the bait ball, looking into the bait ball. It was really something special that I'd never really seen before.
They're completely oblivious. It's quite amazing to watch. It does remind you that there's lots going on below you all the time.
Rob Harcourt is a professor of marine ecology and leads the Marine Predator Research Group at Macquarie University.
So what kind of sharks are these, Rob, and just how big are they?
Well, Ali, if you have a look at the film, you can see they're probably whaler sharks, which is a very common inshore coastal shark. And when they swim up close to the boogie boarder, you can freeze the frame, and then looking at the length of the buoy of the boogie board, he's probably about 1.7 metres. And so the shark is at least double that, maybe a little bit more.
Have there ever been any shark attacks involving whalers?
Yeah, bronze whalers have bitten people, but I think the really important thing about this is that actually they're having a look and they're seeing that the humans aren't really a suitable prey. I mean, they're really interested in the fish. The fish are small and they're full of fat and they're really juicy and oily and great energy return.
What the whaler sharks are interested in is this huge bait ball full of hundreds of thousands of small fish, clustering close to shore to get away from large predators, but failing miserably.
This is a fantastic shot, yeah. I mean, I counted over 130 sharks just from a still, and that doesn't include the sharks that are actually feeding on the fish in the middle of the ball because you can't see them because they're dark. So that's fantastic. It would be amazing to see up close. I'm very jealous of the cameraman.
I really hope it shows that, in a healthy environment like we had there with so many fish and, not overfished places, that the sharks can live side by side with the people. Just got to use a bit of common sense, give them a wide berth and leave them to themselves, and it seems to work great.
This is how close the shark came to Kyle Roberts. As it flung him from his kayak, the animal sank its teeth into the hull, leaving a terrifying calling card. And just hours later, in almost the same spot north of Brisbane, this. Alicia Samuel was swimming with her partner Joey and their 2-year-old son in just ankle-deep water when this tiger shark moved in.
We were just casually in the shallows and our sister-in-law said there's a shark behind you, so we quickly just jumped out of the water.
And then went to notify the lifeguards, and so they could close the beach and get the swimmers out of the water because you don't want someone to get bitten by one of those.
These close calls come just days after surfer Lee Johnson was attacked at Ballina on the New South Wales north coast.
And just looked around and saw it coming back at me. Got my board and just started spearing it. And then that was pretty full on. Thought that was it. And then caught a wave in and got to the beach and just, I was so stoked to hit the beach.
If you're going to get attacked by a shark, chances are it'll be right here, the beaches of northern New South Wales. In the last 20 years, statistics show there have been more shark attacks here than anywhere else in the country. And even though they were trialled a few years ago, the locals have campaigned against the use of shark nets.
But the nets have proved totally ineffective.
Ballina Mayor David Wright stands by his residents when it comes to the nets.
They've been trialled for 2 years. We have 34 kilometres of beaches and each of our nets was 150 metres long. The sharks could swim over the top of it.
According to the Shark Research Institute, the top locations for shark attacks between 1990 and 2016 were at number 1, Byron Bay with 12 attacks, 2 of which proved fatal. Ballina with 6, one of those deadly. Sydney Harbour followed just behind on 5, Newcastle 4, Bondi Beach, Seal Rocks, Fingal Bay and Shelley Beach, all in New South Wales, also had their fair share, recording 3 each. While Bells Beach in Victoria also made the list with 3 unprovoked attacks. And over in WA, Cottesloe Beach had 4 and Middleton Beach 3 featured with 7 attacks between them.
Unfortunately, he has not survived.
Recently, the Whitsundays in North Queensland has been plagued with its own attacks, 3 in just 2 months. The latest a fortnight ago, claiming the life of Victorian doctor Daniel Christides. The Queensland Government has now banned swimming in Syd Harbour and is spending $250,000 on a study to investigate changing shark migration patterns in the area.
I just think this is a nonsense decision. We should always put human life before that of a fish. And when are they going to wake up and do what is necessary? They have been warned over and over again.
Federal MP Keith Pitt wants a shark cull.
They are in plague proportions. I mean, what is wrong with a common sense decision to control shark numbers in Queensland?
John Reid says he wrote to the Queensland Government warning of imminent attacks earlier this year and got no response.
Silence. Utter silence.
Does it make you angry?
It makes me angry because I know what a shark can do to you. Somebody's got blood on their hands, mate.
Here, his fishing logbooks give clear warning. But I notice you've also listed the number of sharks you've seen.
Yeah, that's right.
Sharks, and more sharks, you say?
That's right. I mean, I couldn't draw their attention any better than that.
SeaWorld's Trevor Long says the solution to keeping swimmers safe could be simple.
Sometimes education is the best one, so more signs along beaches telling people and warning people that sharks frequent these areas so people can make an informed decision on going to the beach.
Just this weekend there were 2 more shark attacks, one in Jiroa in southern New South Wales and one off the Northern Territory. While back on the Sunshine Coast, fisherman John Reid tells us he won't be going swimming this summer. So John, would you go swimming on the beaches here?
No, because I'm too scared of getting my leg ripped off.
This thing is an absolute monster. Shark numbers are absolutely exploding. Okay, we've got ourselves a big boy. If they don't do something soon, I think we're going to see more fatalities on the beach. If you come across something like that, you haven't got much of a chance in the water.
13 years, 15 years ago, they didn't see a white. We see them daily now.
If you're going to get eaten, these are ones that'll eat you.
Nets do not stop attacks.
Well, we know from research that there's no silver bullet when it comes to this issue.
And human life has to take precedence over any other form of life.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a single Australian who hasn't worried, at least once in their life, about being bitten by a shark. But here on this stretch of coastline, that fear is oh so real. From Victoria...
Oh no, don't buy that!
to New South Wales and north to Queensland.
Oh, look at the size of this! It's as big as a boat.
It feels like our entire coastline is swarming with sharks. But one man gets closer to these monsters than anyone else. A humble fisherman called Tony DiDio.
The fear's there. I mean, even I shake, when I see a big shark like that.
Tony sees so many sharks whilst out fishing that he started filming his encounters.
It's a good sized tiger shark.
On this day, he catches and releases a tiger shark. Then, an hour later, gets a visit from a great white.
Mate, to get up close to a man-eater like this, I'm shaking just looking at this thing.
The white pointer is just under 5 metres long, almost as big as Tony's boat.
I'm only in a 5.3 metre boat, and it's a little bit daunting when you're playing with something that's almost the size of your boat.
The shark circles for 10 breathtaking minutes.
hard to describe, mate. This is amazing.
Before eventually seeing if the boat could be lunch.
Look at this. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Let it go up the side of the boat. Can you imagine that thing jumping up and coming in the boat? There's no more boat, no more you.
Tony has filled 32 DVDs with his fishing adventures, but lately he's been filming lots of sharks.
The numbers that I'm seeing now is really scary. 3 years ago, we could go out there and virtually not see a shark. Last year was really scary. This year's going to be an eye-opener again.
He sees so many now that out of frustration, he's resorted to catching them.
Oh, yeah.
A process that involves first hooking one and then, with the help of his sons, trying to snag a rope on its tail. It's quite literally shark wrangling, limbs dangling in the water, trying to catch a wild beast.
Watch your feet, watch your feet.
On this day, they catch not one, but 2 bull sharks.
He's not another shark.
This one caught just 3 minutes after putting a line in, once again wrangling the shark with their bare hands to secure the rope.
But they got him! It's crazy, but they got him!
Tony had lost 18 mackerel he'd hooked up that day, but came back with 2 bull sharks instead.
That's not the place to put your hand. We took the jaws out, we kept the jaws, and we actually ate the shark. Yeah, we don't waste them.
Tony is so concerned about the shark numbers he's seeing, he offered to take us out for a morning's fishing off Southwest Rocks, about halfway between Sydney and Brisbane. To catch a shark, you need mackerel, and within a few minutes, Tony's son Jason lands one of those.
I said a lot of fishermen will be cursing because they're going to put this out for bait, but that's what we'll do.
Then, within 20 minutes of casting his line, Tony hooks a shark.
All right. Okay, we've got ourselves a big boy.
The shark lets go, but then comes back 2 more times for another bite.
Right. This time.
And this time stays hooked. So you've had that mackerel in there for about 20 minutes?
About 20 minutes, yeah. It just goes to show how many sharks are here already, and it's very early in the season.
Once Tony brings his catch to the surface, we discover it's a bull shark, about 2 metres long.
Have a bit of a goop down in there. That's one place you don't want to end up there, in the mouth of that big fella. If you can grab him by the tail if you like, he won't hurt you.
I think I'll leave that to you, Tony. With a bit of coaxing, even I get to pat a shark in the wild and live to tell the tale.
Yeah.
Tony says it never used to be this easy to catch a shark, and mackerel season hasn't even begun when these waters will be teeming with them.
This is why I'm getting very concerned about what's going on with the shark numbers out here. I mean, you can see the swimming beaches are no more than 1 kilometre inshore here.
This one will be released, but Tony DiDio believes it's bull sharks that people should be worried about.
I think the poor old great white gets a raw end of the stick, I think. The bull sharks are the one are out there that worry me. And that's why I actually took 3 of them last year, because I'm actually worried about the numbers, how they're congregating here.
They're on the increase, without a shadow of a doubt.
Don Munro is a surfer living in the middle of what's been dubbed the shark capital of Australia. In a 70-kilometre stretch from Evans Head to Ballina and Byron Bay, there have been 11 shark attacks in the past 3 years, 2 of them fatal. After yet another attack last October, the state government finally caved into pressure and installed shark nets at 5 beaches.
We are the apex predator on this planet. I'm not saying that in a negative way or a positive way, it's just a reality. And human life has to take precedence over any other form of life.
Nets do not stop attacks. Nets only destroy other marine life.
Andrew Neuenhoff is from Sharkwatch, a group devoted to monitoring these creatures using non-lethal methods. His program using drones to spot sharks begins in Byron Bay shortly. Unlike nearby Ballina, Byron has resisted installing shark nets, mainly due to the bycatch of harmless marine life.
Is it the role of government to kill marine creatures in order for some people to feel safe in the ocean?
This is a trial. Marine life is important, but on the north coast we said that we wanted to make human life one of the priorities as well.
Niall Blair is the New South Wales Minister for Primary Industries. He says nets are just one part of the solution, along with new technology allowing people to track sharks on their phone.
We don't know a lot about sharks in Australia full stop, and that's why we've invested in a significant tagging program.
The app gives off an alert every time a shark is located. The only problem, just a tiny percentage of sharks have been tagged. There's been no alerts on the Shark Smart app here today, so if you were relying solely on that, you'd probably think this might be a safe place to swim, but as you can see, you better be a fast swimmer.
They're a magnificent shark, look at that. Beautiful.
The shark wrangler, Tony DiDio, doesn't believe nets are the solution. He wants to see more transparency on shark numbers and find out why he's seeing so many closer to shore.
They've got to get more education to the surfers and the swimmers, you know, when to really to swim and not to swim daylight and dark. I mean, that's when the sharks are feeding.
Just felt like I've been kicked in the guts by your own government.
It's the painful part, because I got a nerve ending there.
Glenn Dixon's missing leg is an agonising reminder of what happened to him.
We're in a boat at the moment, we're racing in, you just had a shark attack.
Are you with the patient now?
Yeah, we're with the patient, but he's not in a good way.
You were savaged by a shark. Do you feel like you've now been savaged by Centrelink?
Yeah, I think it became a number, a dollar sign, and then I could save money on rather than just helping a genuine man in need.
After being mauled by a shark, Glenn lost his right leg, leaving him disabled. But Centrelink tells him he's not disabled enough to receive a disability benefit. How would you describe that decision?
It's a bit of a joke, really. It's not fair.
Glenn's partner, Jess.
I think it's ridiculous. There's so many other people out there who get a disability pension, and Glenn, who's missing a leg, he's never going to be the same again. He's never going to be able to get up and walk on his own 2 feet again, and he can't be entitled to a disability pension. It's not fair.
Kind of went in slow motion, as I've realised. And as I watched blood rise, that image is imprinted in my head. I'll never forget it, watching the shark come through my blood.
As Glenn told 60 Minutes, he was mauled twice by the shark and he lost so much blood he almost died 6 times. The thing that saved him, the thought of Jess and their children.
My son, my daughter, my family. In that situation, you can't think deeply. You could only see pictures of their faces. That was enough to keep me driving forward.
Glenn showed fierce determination to survive after the attack and as he recovered here in hospital. He surprised everyone by being released after just 5 weeks and immediately starting rehab. But as young and fit as he is, Glenn knows he can never go back to his old job.
I was a tradesman in the sugar mill and I mainly done maintenance work, so I'd be climbing in and out of holes and up and down stairs, and I pretty much just have to look for something new eventually, but for now it's trying to recover.
The position of Centrelink in denying his claim is simply absurd.
Will Barsby from Shine Lawyers saw Glenn's story and has now taken up his fight free of charge.
I'm just outraged that a young man who's been struck down and has a very severe life-changing injury isn't able to get the benefits that we all want these people to get.
Centrelink has twice refused to pay Glenn the disability pension. Instead, they put him on the New Start allowance, which means he collects about $400 less a fortnight. And that's a whole lot when you have big medical bills and a young family to feed.
He's struggling right now with sleep deprivation. He can't sleep at night. The nerve pain is just excruciating. There's no way he can go back to work anytime soon. And we need help now.
Jess was pregnant with their baby Aurora when Glenn was attacked by the shark. She's had to give up her job as well to look after Aurora and Glenn.
You know, the Australian public has been absolutely amazing and helped us out with fundraising, but that money is running out. We're having to live off that money. And, you know, what we're entitled to, what Glenn is entitled to, his payouts, he should be able to get.
The unfortunate thing is the government isn't in the business of actively helping people meet a criteria to receive the pension. So because he didn't fit the box at that point in time, they just flat out denied it.
Without any one of us there, I don't think Glenn would have made it.
Glenn's mate Rick was one of the people who helped save his life the day of the attack.
He's still conscious, mate. He's awake. We've got a guy that used to be in the Navy in America. He's got him in the recovery position. We've got a tourniquet on. I'm sorry if I'm yelling, mate. I'm just...
No, you're right, mate.
Dropping in and out of consciousness, Glenn knew how close he came to dying.
As close as you can get. As close as you can get. But I never gave up.
It was a remarkable team effort, but now it seems the odds are against Glenn. He's been ruled totally and permanently disabled by his super company, but instead of giving him a lump sum payout, Sun Super insists on making payments over 6 years.
12 months ago, if he had the same injury, same event, I would have been just paid out my lump sum. But their policy has changed in the last 12 months, and unfortunately, they're going to try and drip feed it to me to try and save themselves some money.
We often see hardworking people who are struck down by injury use these lump sum benefits to modify their house and modify their life. And really, that's the whole benefit of having this type of insurance, and it's been taken away from him because of a product that's been changed by Sun Super.
You know, things aren't easy. We don't like to whinge. We just keep it quiet, but it's gotten to the point where the payments that Glenn should be entitled to, he should be getting them.
They're needed.
They're needed, yeah, it's not fair.
Will Barsby has asked Sun Super to release a larger amount of funds so Glenn can buy a home or even a better prosthetic leg. But so far, the company has refused.
People shouldn't be having to fight the Australian government, let alone their own super fund as well.
This isn't good enough. No, it's not good enough. Not for me or the Australian public, because in the end, it could happen to someone else.
It's the shark attack that's left a young Swiss woman dead and her partner suffering serious injuries trying to save her. This, the latest in an alarming spike that has life-saving patrols on high alert as we head into summer. Joining me now is shark expert Dr. Daryl McPhee from Bond University on the Gold Coast. Dr. McPhee, it's always alarming when someone is killed in this sort of attack. There's speculation it was a bull shark. What's your take on this shark attack?
First, my condolences to the friends and family of the victim and offering support to first responders. It was a harrowing event. It was, from the evidence available so far, most likely to be a bull shark.
And this young woman has died and her friend has suffered critical injuries. Is it unusual for two people to be attacked by the one shark?
It is unusual, but sadly it isn't unknown. There was a very similar incident in the Whitsundays in Queensland a few years ago. So it does occur, you get these double bites.
And they were swimming with dolphins. Isn't that usually a sign, if you're seeing dolphins in the water, that there aren't sharks there?
It's the exact opposite. When there's fauna present, such as dolphins, large schools of fish, seabirds circling over the fish, it generally means there are other predators present, and those other predators can include sharks. So it's an urban myth that if you're swimming with dolphins, or if dolphins are around, you're safe from sharks.
Now, we also recently had the terrible fatal shark attack in Sydney's popular DY Beach. A much-loved local surfer was killed. Are shark attacks on the rise?
If you look at the long-term trend, between 1980 and 1989, there was only 2 bites in New South Wales on surfers, so just focusing on surfers. Between 2010 and 2019, there was 30, so a 15-fold increase on bites and surfers in New South Wales.
A 15-fold increase. What can we put the rise in these attacks down to?
There's no one reason. There are more people in the water over a larger geographic area. We've got some climate impacts of warming waters, which could be particularly significant for bull sharks. We have an increase in coastal prey for sharks, large sharks, including humpback whales, and schooling fish such as Australian salmon. The unknown are the population sizes and trends in those populations of white sharks, tiger sharks and bull sharks, and that remains a very significant unknown.
So the sharks aren't going all jaws on us, they're not hunting us down, it's just a case of an increase in food in a lot of these attacks.
They're certainly not hunting us down, they certainly haven't gone rogue. It's just a very tragic set of circumstances which leads to what we've been seeing.
And what about shark nets? We know that they're very controversial. There's been questions about whether they should be removed from the beaches that they're installed in. Are they effective?
You're correct, they are highly controversial. To work out whether they're effective or not, you can't really do the experiments necessary due to ethical reasons because you'll be putting people at risk. Whether shark nets stay is a government decision. But hypothetically, I don't think if shark nets were present around Kylie's Beach where this latest bite occurred, it may not have made any difference.
And what about drum lines and the technology that can be employed as well using drones? I know a lot of surf lifesavers now use drones as part of their regular equipment. Are there other tools that we can employ to protect people against sharks?
We can use down the track different types of drones. So there's a type of drone called a drone with a multispectral camera, which allows for use over a greater time period because you can see through the water, so it's not dependent on having clear water. So drones currently are an effective tool, and as you correctly said, they are used in patrolled areas. Smart drum lines do make a contribution, so we do have a toolkit of potential tools available. But unfortunately, we're never going to have oceans that are 100% safe from sharks, just the same way as we don't have mountains that are 100% safe for mountain climbers.
And we're officially into summer next week. People will be hitting the ocean in droves around the country. What should people be mindful of to protect themselves?
To protect themselves as a priority, if you're swimming, you should be swimming between the flags on patrolled beaches. You should be avoiding areas where there's a lot of marine faunal activity, so avoid schools of fish, schools of birds. That's important. Avoid murky water and particularly avoid swimming near river mouths because particularly in New South Wales, the summer period is a period where you expect to see more bull shark activity and more activity from larger bull sharks.
And the time of day that you're swimming, I know with this young couple they were swimming early in the morning, dawn and dusk, are they periods to try to avoid?
There are periods to avoid. Generally, bull sharks are more active along beaches during the afternoon, and they also feed at night. So it was a little bit atypical for this bite to occur in morning conditions.
So in summary, do you think that we need to be really concerned about the increase in shark attacks?
I think we also should be. I think we always should be mindful that there's a risk going into the ocean, and do whatever you can to try and minimise the risk. So take those quite basic, quite simple, but effective mitigation measures.
And our thoughts with the family of the people impacted by this shark attack. Dr. McPhee, thank you so much for your time.